it's one of the most important documents in a file. If you haven't got a good inventory, you've really got no protection as a landlord at the end of the contract if you want to get your property back to its current standard. First of all, it prevents the tenants from doing any damage because they know they've got that inventory, they know they've signed it, they know that it's there and it's current. At the end of the contract, when you obviously want to have a reimbursement from the deposit, you need to have some evidence there, the condition of the property in the first place. And so if you haven't got that inventory nowadays with TDS and deposit disputes and all the rest of it, if you haven't got evidence, you've got nothing. And so as a landlord's point of view, you've really got to accept the damage that you've got. I can remember a few years ago, one of the worst cases I've ever seen was a landlord. I went to see the property for the first time, and the tenant had painted the property completely gloss black. And I mean, the window frames, the light fittings, everything was absolutely gloss black. And this guy just stood there and cried. And I said, well, you've got an inventory. He says, yes, but I didn't put the decor on it. And that's down to ignorance. A lot of landlords don't know the detail that's got to go into an inventory. They won't write down the fixed items like the radiators and the boilers and the doors. And I always say, well, if you come back in, the doors, the radiators are gone, how are you going to feel? They're not going to remove them, they're fixed. I says they will. You know, tenants will remove copper, they will remove metal, they will remove anything. So if it's not written down, the tenant might as well be able to take it. So it is so important to have the right inventory with the right level of detail. So expertise there is very, very important.
Indeed, that's a brilliant story you told, because it also tenants could bring in something additional, like say a chair that isn't fireproof, and if there was a fire as a result of that chair, you could prove from the inventory that you didn't supply that chair.
Absolutely, and if you've got no inventory, you can't prove that you didn't. So it's very, very true. And also something that we've seen over the years is tenants, they have an accident on a mattress and they swap the mattress, and your mattress is a compliant mattress and the mattress that's been budding is non-compliant, and of course all you've got on your inventory is mattress, you've got a problem. So again, you need to be really detailed about the type of mattress, the quality, the condition, the fact there's a fire retardant label on there. So yes, you're very right, you need to make sure that it is very, very specific. Unfortunately, what we see is a lot of landlords, when they do inventories themselves, it's just sofa, bed, coffee table, just the basics, and you know, they come back and the house is painted gloss black and all the furniture's swapped from antique to cheap stuff from IKEA, and there's nothing they can do about it. So it is crucially important, and it's certainly a mantra that we're talking to landlords and have been for the last 22 years and will continue to do so as well.
Brilliant, that's good to know. And also I think from the tenant's point of view, it could actually protect them from a rogue landlord as well, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The transparency of a really robust inventory actually supports everybody in the tenancy agreement.
It does, hugely. Give you an example, probably about 8-9 years ago, we had a beautiful big detached house that was rented out to a football player, an overseas football player came into the area, and the carpet was it's a big wide lounge, so obviously there was a join in the carpet, and there was across 3/4 across the carpet there was a join going across. You could hardly see it, but it was there. We noted this on the inventory, but when the tenant actually left and he went back to, I can't remember what country he came from, but he went back to wherever it was he came from, the landlord says, the tenant has taken up my carpet and ripped it. And it was only because we'd actually got on the inventory that there was a join in the carpet that he couldn't make deduction, but he was all for making that deduction. If we hadn't written something as stupid down as there being a join in the carpet, he would have got that. So you do have to watch the landlords as well. I mean, you know, we'd like to think that most wouldn't do that, but there are the unscrupulous ones there that certainly would.
And the more detailed, the better. You
Absolutely.
can't have too much detail.
And how marked is marked? You know, you can't just say it's marked. How marked is marked? How many centimetres? What sort of mark is it? Whereabouts in the room is it? Everything's got to be detailed. What colour is it specifically? And
date stamped photographs.
Everything. And something a lot of people do wrong as well is they talk about it's a beach table. Is it a beach table or is it a beach veneer table? Is it gold taps or is it gold plated taps? You know, you've got to be very, very careful about the difference in metals and woods, and be very sort of specific about it.
So just to finish, Sally, can you see value in taking the inventory process into a digital format where all the different fragmented bits of the inventory are all brought together in one document?
Hugely, yeah. I mean, obviously, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I spoke to one of my franchisees the other day. She said she spent 8 hours doing an inventory. I said, 8 hours? How many inquiries could you have dealt with? How much networking? How many people could you have spoken to? How much deals could you have done? Business could you have done? Why are you spending 8 hours doing inventory? Absolutely, it's about finding an alternative way. And you know, with our network, we encourage people to use a digital age. We encourage them to use inventory specialists, because you know, if you're going to do the old-fashioned way, dictaphone, sit there and type it, check it, make sure it's okay, print it up. And if you're doing photographic inventory, getting all the sizes right, naming everything, it takes time. Whereas nowadays, you've got this modern technology, one push of a button, it's all there, it's uploaded to your system. It's absolutely, it's the way to go. You've got to move with the times.